Hi there, my name is Cynthia Wakeo. I am the Communication and Events Manager at Corporate Staffing Services. Today we're going to be talking about the common mistakes that should be avoided in a CV. And I am joined by our lead recruiter, Mr. Perminus Wainaina, who's going to be telling us, or rather giving us tips on what should be avoided in a CV. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
So as our lead recruiter, you've been doing this for over 13 years. What do you look for in a CV?
Now, there's one thing when it comes to job search, whether you're at entry level or you're the most qualified senior management professional, it's one thing to be qualified for the job, it's one thing to have the skills, it's one thing to have the experience, and it's another thing to be able to communicate the same to, in the market out there.
Yes.
And that's where the CV comes in. A CV is a very important document, whether you're at entry level or very senior level. And the work of the CV seen there is to be able to market you.
Yes.
In fact, I always advise candidates that it's not the work of the CV to get you a job. Yes, it's part of the process, but at the beginning, the work of the CV is to get you the interview.
Yes.
And then it's from the interview, then we can have an in-depth discussion about your skills, your qualification, and then we move to the other stage. So if you are here and you're watching this video, you should be asking yourself, is my CV getting me the kind of interviews that I desire?
Yes.
Yeah. And if it's not, then this is a timely topic and video for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the hundreds or rather even thousands CVs that fall on your desk,
Yeah.
what are the common mistakes that you see in a CV?
Yes, Cynthia, you've mentioned something very important. In today's age, every field, every profession is competitive and highly competitive. So whether you're you're looking at HR, that's where I am, or communication, days are gone where you'd say, well, if I have the qualification, if I have the skills, if I have this degree, it's automatic, I'll get a job. So things are quite competitive. Yeah. And so that means whatever you do with your document, you really have to stand out.
Yes.
I can't overemphasize this. You have to stand out. Because in a pool of, let's say, 1,000 applicants, remember the other day KRA talked about them having a management graduate training program. And they received over 70,000 CVs. The other day, Judiciary was looking to hire for 11 positions. They received over 150,000 CVs. So you can imagine for each position, they were getting over 10,000 applicants.
Yes.
So to directly answer your question, one of the main mistakes I see professionals make is not customizing or tailoring their CV to the job that they apply. So they only have one single CV, and this is the CV they send to every employer, to every job advert. But I would recommend, and especially the more you get skilled, the more experience you garner, the more years of experience you have, the more then you should be able to look at a job advert, be able to read even the lines between what the client is looking for or the employer, and then tailor make your CV to suit that position. Then you stand a higher chance of starting to get interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does that mean copy paste the job description to your CV or?
That's a very good question, Cynthia. No, it doesn't mean that. But what it means is the things which are listed in the job description, do they also appear in your CV?
Yeah.
Because of the reality is, and you can ask any other HR manager or recruiter there, they'll tell you, we don't spend 10 minutes on a CV. No one does. Anyone who has hired, we don't. You'd expect, but the reality is, if I have to go over 500 CVs, whether I'm using a system or it's manual, then you can see time is of essence. So the key thing is, at the first instance, in there, what you stand out. So look at your CV. For example, you're in communication, and let's say digital communication. You can't really go anywhere if you don't talk about search engine optimization. You can't go anywhere if you don't talk about social media management, content. Those are keywords, that I should be able to look at your CV and they should be able to grab my attention. Yeah.
And that's what you go for when you're looking at a CV.
A lot of times, yes, you look at the experience, yes, but you ask yourself, is the experience relevant? And that is where the keywords come in.
That is
So
true.
in as much as possible, when you look at the job description, yes, don't go and copy paste, but then again, emphasize whatever they are looking for. If you do have the skills and the qualification, that's also what you emphasize on your CV. Yeah. So let's not, and with a lot of respect for professionals, let's stop being lazy. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. So at the end of the month, I would rather you send only 4 applications, than you going to corporate staffing, you look at our website, and you send 200 of applications. Surely that means you've not taken time.
How should one avoid these mistakes and ensure that their CV sells them?
Now, what I've come to realize, and this is quite interesting, myself, I have close to how many years of experience? 16 years of experience. And I've noticed that majority of us, we make these mistakes, not because we want, but there's no one who teaches us.
Yeah.
We are taught on how to acquire the skills in our area of expertise. So it's for you, communication, if it's for me, HR. But imagine no one teaches us on how to market ourselves. That's the sad part. No one. So now it's for you to take the initiative, and initiative in two ways. Number one, there's a lot of free information out there. This channel is one of the resources that we are providing free to job seekers. Why don't you subscribe and you'll be getting, we educate you, because this is what we do. We're in the HR space, we're in the job space. So you get to learn as much from us. The other thing is ask for a friend to look at your CV. Someone may be more experienced than you. It could be a HR professional. It could be even a manager. Ask them, does this CV sell me?
Yeah.
Based on what you know that I've done, does it sell me? And then also, for example, for us, we provide a free CV review service where you can be able to send your CV to us, you review it, you look at your qualifications versus the jobs that you've been applying, and be able to ascertain whether there's a good match. And if there's no, we can be able to tell you where to improve. Yeah. So I think there's help out there. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. And if I review, if you review, do I get more help, like revamping my CV?
Oh yes, there are professionals who, when we give feedback, because we review it, we look at 3 points criteria. So out of those 13, we'll give you feedback. And from there, some professionals opt to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Others, they come, we do offer CV writing service. So we do everything for you. And then after, we charge you a small fee. And after that, when you pay and we review it, then you do really stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final word to a professional wants their CV to sell them better to an employer. What would you tell them?
I think for me is invest time in your applications. Don't just have one CV. I would highly recommend. This will make a lot of difference.
Yes.
Don't just have one CV. Always customize the CV to suit the needs of the employer. And if you're stuck, get help. This is 2022.
Yeah.
There's a lot of help there on the internet. Talk to friends, talk to mentors, talk to people like us. And I'm sure you'll not get stuck. But it's very important. Remember, there's something I said. It's not about quantity, it's quality.
Yeah.
You better make few applications where you even get a chance to get an interview, and it will even raise your morale. But if you make 200 applications because you're just clicking a button, you're just uploading your CV, or I mean, it doesn't work, and that's where frustrations come in.
Ensuring that you're able to sell yourself.
Precisely. That's very, very important. If you look, and I'm sure you understand, if you look at the back end,
Yes.
there's a lot of stiff competition. So the question is, how do you get to stand out?
Yeah.
And that document is very, very important. Whether you're a fresh graduate, in fact, the more skilled you are, the more competitive it is. Because fresh graduates, we don't expect them to have a lot of experience. So we forgive them. Whatever CV they send, they need to have a good document. But the higher you climb in your career, the more, critical the CV becomes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for watching this video. For more information on how you can ensure your CV stands out, please click on the link below. See you next time.